Righto, sweeties and honeys. There's not going to be much speed involved today, because I don't think you can really make a proper KFC Zinger burger at home fast. If you want to do it like sort of properly, it's going to take like probably a little bit longer, so probably be lots of cuts in here, and while it's cooking in the air fryer and all that jazz, it'll be probably just like cut a fair bit. But I haven't made one of these at home like properly, like yum, with like good macros and stuff in ages, but yeah, it should be pretty snazzy. And we're just gonna hope that we can make it look better than this and or taste better, which is the goal, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I love KFC. I think KFC is like some of the best takeaway. You can't really beat it. All right, so off the rip, gotta need your cornflakes, lads. Cornflakes, very goated for this stuff. So what I might actually do first is, I was gonna cut the chicken first, but you know what? I'll make the dredging stations first. I'll grab some big plates off the rib, it'll just make it easier. So, in the first one, just want a bit of plain flour. Oh shit, it's probably a bit too much. And then the herbs and spices you want, that's sort of similar-ish to KFC, is a bit of dried basil. I think I'll do like 5 grams of everything. Except for salt, you want more salt. Probably like 10 grams of salt. Don't know if that's probably enough. I'm just eyeballing this because who doesn't like eyeballing things? Bit of dried ginger, about 5 grams of that. Bit of white pepper, about 5 grams of that. I think a bit of rosemary. I can't really be bothered grinding it up, so I'm just gonna chuck it in like that because I'm lazy. I think it's rosemary. Oh no, it's thyme. Oh well, there's a bit of rosemary in there now as well. We don't mind that, do we? A bit of thyme and rosemary. Get them both in there. We didn't add much of that, so that's all sweet. And we need a bit of black pepper and paprika, and that's it, I think. All right. Black pepper and paprika. So about 5 grams of like all of this, except for the salt. Had a little bit more salt. Didn't do exactly, like I sort of just eyeballed a lot of that, but you win some, you lose some, don't you? And then just gonna get a little forky fork. Whoa! Just mixy mix, make sure that's all incorporated nicely. Doesn't have to be perfect, but and that smells so good. And then we want the middle dredging station. I'm gonna go 1 egg. I'm only going to use 1 egg because I'm also going to use a bit of sriracha. Because obviously we're making a Zinger burger, so the middle dredging can be an egg plus sriracha to give it a bit of spice in your life. Wash hands. Put the sriracha away. Actually, I can just use that. That's a beautiful little middle dredging station. You can smell the heat in that sriracha. I don't know if KFC actually do this with their chicken. I think they like inject their Zinger fillets, to be honest. And then the last dredging station will be corn flakies. The secret to everything being delicious in this world. I've never actually, I think I might have done this once when I was new to cooking, but I haven't really used cornflakes to bread stuff much, but it goes pretty well. You don't want it to crush it up into a powder, but you want to crush it up so they're not quite as big chunks. You don't want the massive chunks, otherwise it'll all just fall everywhere. Alrighty. And that's done. Now we can move these off to the side for a bit while we beat some chicken. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a few bits of chicken here, and like you do with the old faithful chicken thighs, got to trim these up because there's a few filthy bits on these. Like you could probably leave it, but like I hate getting little gristly bits in my chicken, so I'm just one of those anal blokes that just. I'm not too like anal with it, like I don't take heaps of it off, but just the main chunky bits. And then I usually just turn it over and just feel through it, make sure there's no membraney or like little cartilage bits in there. Because there's nothing worse than bits of cartilage when you're trying to eat some crispy chicken. is we're gonna get our trusty meat mallet and beat the chicken almost into a pulp. No, we're just gonna thin it out. That's what we're doing. This trusty boy. I'm pretty OP when you give me this mallet. When I'm last alive, I clutch up usually in a 1v4 scenario just with this meat mallet. Alright. So, let's lay these out here like that. And then, like, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just smash these until they're just like a little bit flatter. I'm not trying to like tenderize the meat or anything weird. I'm just flattening it out so that it cooks more evenly and so that it's a bit of shape for the old burg. And especially because like we're not deep frying this, a little bit of extra fat from the thigh is going to be delicious. Okay, that'll do us. So now as you can see, they're flattened out nicely. As you can see that there, flattened out nicely. So they're going to cook more evenly and they're going to just be better for a burger. So we've got the 3 dredge daddy stations. So all we're going to do is just chuck this in here. Actually, before we do that, let's get the air fryer preheated a little bit. Because I'm going to be able to chuck these like almost straight in there after I finish making these. So the air fryer's cranked. I repeat, the air fryer is cranked. So make sure you get flour in all of these little bits just so that it all sticks. Beautiful. And put her in this egg wash / sriracha mixture. Just for the spice, obviously, because you're eating a Zinger. We're not just eating a normal crispy chicken burger, we're eating a spicy crispy chicken burger. That looks good. And then into the corn flakes. And there you go. And then we're doing 2 at a time here, so we're going to dredge up another one. Make sure you get a bit of flour in all of that. Take off any excess stuff and then get it in the old hot sauce egg mixture. This is going to be delish ass, I reckon. I've lost the plot. Alright, I probably didn't shake off enough excess there, but you know what? Who cares? So, let's get this air fry basket over here. I'm going to just lay these boys in here. I'm going to chuck them in for like... Oh, Jesus. She's a bit tight in there, but that's okay. I'm going to put these in there for like maybe 15 minutes. I'll quickly spray down this bench. Could have got some excess juices on it, so we're going to just spray it down so we don't die of salmonella or something. And so, what we've got now, got a couple of brioche buns here. These aren't the best, like the macros on these aren't the best, but they're obviously going to get the job done. They're pretty nice though, these buns. I'm a big fan. I might just toast these really quickly, eh? I think that might be the play. So we'll get the other air fryer going, / little mini oven. I'll pack these eggs and stuff away. Now if this was typically me making a burger for myself in the real world, I would be using tomato as well. I'd probably use like a spicy sauce, maybe a sweet sauce. But they're pretty basic at KFC, but they do it well though, so I'm not gonna rip on them too hard. The old KFC boys down in Australia. So let's get a bit of this lettuce off. And they would usually use iceberg lettuce, but I prefer like this cos / baby cos lettuce. Just has a bit more of a crisp and like a bit more integrity to it. I'm just gonna quickly wash it as well. Always got to have your lettuce sliced very thin. The thinner the better. The thinner, the more taste it has. I don't know if you guys have heard that before, but you've heard it now. And now while all the stuff's just finishing off, I'm going to just quickly check and see how they assemble this bad boy. So we've got mayo. They don't put sauce on top. They put just lettuce and mayo on the bottom bun. And that's it. And one thing I'm going to do as well is I've got another Zinger fillet spare here. These are my secret weapon for everything. You just go to KFC and you just ask for a Zinger fillet by itself. I'm going to chuck this in the air fryer as well in a minute. I'm going to re-crisp this up and I'm going to make my homemade Zinger stuff, but I'm going to use their patty still. See how these are looking. They're looking good. Alright, so the chicken and stuff's all nearly done now. I just had these bad boys come out of the air fryer, just toasted them for a couple of minutes. So what we're gonna do is, this is low-fat Kewpie mayo, pretty goated stuff. KFC were kind of stingy on the sauce, I feel like. I feel like you're better off having a bit on top and bottom. Like, I feel like they just put a lot of mayo on top, on the bottom bun, and then they just didn't put anything on the top. I think I would prefer just like an even coverage on both. But yeah, this low-fat Kewpie mayo is not too bad. It still has that Kewpie mayo flavour, but it's just, I think it's like half the calories, which is nice. And then on each of these, we just want to put a little thing like that. It's a nice amount of lettuce, actually. It's a perfect amount of lettuce. And we're just in time to pull the things out of the air fryer. We've got the KFC Zinger fillet on my lower calorie bun. Oh, look at that. That looks good, that one. That looks good. And then we've got these daddies. Jeez, these are massive. Oh my God. They can't even, you can barely fit this thing on the burger. Oh lordy. Oh my Lord. Now that is some naughty looking Zinger burger if I've ever seen one. Look at those. It's just one thigh fillet just smashed out, so it looks massive, but it's actually not that much chicken. So here we go, guys. Got the normal Zinger. Pretty sad looking. We've got the homemade using their burger, but using Kewpie mayo and own homemade buns. Well, not homemade, they're from the store, but, and then we've got these two daddies. Look at those. Oh my Lord. I'm gonna have to give this one a taste. I want to be able to get some bread and stuff with it when I eat it. I don't want to just get all chicken. Woo! Wow. It's spice hot, but it's also like hot. The cornflakes make that so delicious. All right, lads, I'm gonna go finish this and go to work because I love working. Ciao.